Okay, so we're going to look at the SMTP, which is called a Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. But ultimately, what is this? Is basically we need to understand the architecture behind electronic email, or in short, the email, which is I need to say that has totally, replaced the postal, system mail concept. So, getting into that, ultimately, the idea of email is, you wanted to exchange. Messages from one user to another user, right? But the idea here is entirely it's inspired the way how postal system works in terms of the software functionality and the server that needs the mail servers that are being hosted. So before getting into how that basically works, it works on the underlying TCP/IP because reliability is one aspect that we are literally focusing as on email as well, right? But there is a difference when you basically see with reference to other application layer protocols like HTTP or FTP. We said that it's basically a kind of a client server programs where the server program will continuously be running. It will keep listening for any request that comes at any time from any clients. Right, so when a request arrives, the server needs to provide service to the request that comes from the client. Right, so this is generally the architecture in which the application layer protocol runs in. But you can't say the same thing in case of an email because say suppose two guys, let me name them as Alice and Bob. They want to send Alice wants to send a message to Bob. It is not required that Bob needs to run a server program continuously on his computer, right, and keep listening for the mails that are coming in. Bob can actually switch off his computer if not in use, and he can look at the email at any time and see whether an email has arrived or not. So what I would try to say here is it's two clients who are trying to actually talk. So I can basically have a server running at the client side. I need to have some intermediate service, and that is going to continuously listen for anything and appropriately deliver. So you need to understand that email is basically a one-way transaction, meaning if Alice sends an email to Bob, Alice might expect a response from Bob, but it is not mandatory because Bob can look the email at any time. Right, when he opens his mail client, he goes on to check whether he's got any mails. He may or may not respond. So this is the aspect there. So it's not required that Bob has to run the server program continuously and wait for the request and goes on to immediately do that. So at any time when he opens his mail client, he's actually going to check whether email has come. So how is all this possible is only through the idea where you go on to implement this idea of client server program or paradigm in a different way, meaning you are going to have some intermediate service, and that is where it is actually going to continuously look for message that is coming in and appropriately deliver it to the respective destination point. So user is only going to run client programs when they want, right? And the intermediate servers is the one which goes on to basically apply the client server paradigm. So this is something that you need to appreciate. Let me take on to the concept of, say, the postal system, where what you do is you go on to have your letter where you put it in an envelope and you write the sender address, and also the from address as well, and then you post it to your nearest post office. And what happens is that there are several other letters that comes to your area post office, and all these are being collected together, are buffered, and it is being transferred or transported to the destination, post box or post office. And from there, there is a postman who goes on to deliver it to your individual home, post box. You at any time can go and open your post box at your home and then see whether there is an letter being posted to you. So please understand there is something that you need to go transfer from your sender side to your nearest point.